The Big Ten's non-conference schedule features 8 games against preseason top 10 teams. All starts November 11th when Michigan State and top-ranked North Carolina play on an aircraft carrier in San Diego. Tom Izzo always has a tough non-conference schedule, plays Duke 4 days later in New York. Wisconsin has Carolina as well in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Ohio State also with 2 top 10 teams on the docket. Which of those matchups jumps out at you, Jimmy?
I really look at that Michigan-Memphis just because Michigan is trying to build themselves as the Michigan that we used to know. And you can do that by beating a top 10 team like Memphis, who's kind of been through the ups and downs, but now they're coming back around. It could be a huge statement game for that program.
Well, I'm going to take a look at Michigan State playing North Carolina. That game really stands out to me because we talked about the fact that Michigan State, their relative strength is along the front line. North Carolina has a lot of strengths. Their front line really up there, led by Harrison Barnes. And I'm just interested to see somebody play on an aircraft carrier. I get seasick in a tub, so I don't know how they're going to be knocking down jump shots, but we'll see.
It's going to be a neat setup, a great game, and neat to see Michigan State involved in it. They've unveiled the uniforms they're going to wear for that game, which really looks sharp. So that should be a lot of fun. Now, the top 10 matchups are intriguing, but some of these other games here, maybe a little bit further off the radar because you're talking about teams as the opponents that aren't necessarily top 10, but top 25 caliber teams. You see some of them listed here. Which of these matchups intrigues you, Jimmy?
You know, I really like the Butler at Indiana. The reason why when you talked about basketball in this state, it was always Indiana. But Brad Stevenson, over the last 2 years, think about it, 2 national championship games, 2 programs going in the opposite direction. This is a statement game for Indiana to come in and show that we're back on the map. It's going to be very interesting to see the outcome of that game, and I don't know it because I'm calling it.
And for me, guys, I take a look at Baylor at Northwestern. If Northwestern wants to have any chance of making their first NCAA tournament appearance, the game at home versus Baylor is almost a must-win. Baylor was going to come in there as a top 20 team, a very, very different style of play that Northwestern is used to seeing. That long, athletic front line of Baylor will provide some challenges, but Baylor has not seen a team that plays maybe as consistently and as patiently as Northwestern does, so that's going to be one that I'm going to keep an eye on.
And the Wildcats often criticized for their non-conference schedule, but they've stepped it up a little bit this year. They've got the Baylor game. They go to Creighton, a team that most people think will win the Missouri Valley. They've got a tournament as well in Charleston that